Now let's get to brand new information into that rough arrest by an off-duty Detroit officer.
At a news conference this afternoon, Chief Craig says the officer seen in this video hitting a man in the face with his police baton is now on administrative duty. He's also been barred from what the chief calls secondary employment. Rod Maloney is following this story for us tonight. Rod, the chief had a lot to say about this incident.
He sure did, Kimberly, and there are some problems for this officer, real problems. And let's start with this. This is how it works. Detroit police offers secondary support. In other words, they have off-duty police officers who get hired by Meijer to work as support for Meijer security here. But the contract with Meijer and DPD is very explicit in that Detroit police officers are not supposed to initiate contact with shoppers. That's up to the Meijer security people to do. And yet the chief says that that's exactly what this officer did, went and made the first contact with a shopper.
We've all seen and heard the devastating crack of a nightstick on David Bivens' teeth. They're all but gone now. Chief Craig tells us the investigation into this turned up Bivens doing something suspicious.
He was in the process of separating his items from his companion's items. That was why he was doing it. And would it raise some concern the way it was done? Absolutely.
Bivens' girlfriend Hillary wanted to bring back some items and she had a receipt for it all. Meijer security didn't even get involved. The next problem for the officer, the chief says he didn't follow his training.
Is there was no de-escalation on the part of the officer. Part of how we train and what we teach is you de-escalate force. If it escalates, you respond accordingly.
In an exclusive interview with Local 4 last week, Bivens showed us his injuries, including his bruised arm, and told us about what he said to the officer at the height of the altercation.
There was nothing left to be shown that I did anything wrong. You just continued to wail on me. And I just wanted you to answer why, to stop and think for yourself why.
We're going to ask the prosecutor to not charge disorderly conduct or resisting an obstruction.
So no charges for Bivens in this case, but what's in it for now the officer, the unidentified officer in this case? Well, as it stands right now, that officer has been put on suspension from secondary employment. So no working at Meijer or GM or any of the other companies that DPD has a contract with. But he has also been put on administrative duty on his regular police job while they await Kim Worthy's decision as to whether that officer should be charged in this incident. Back to you.
But I'm wondering if you've had a chance to speak with Mr. Bivens since the news conference, and if so, what's his reaction to all of this?
Well, here's the thing. We called Geoffrey Fieger, that is Bivens' attorney, and he was with us last week when we had that interview. Today, Fieger filed a $25 million lawsuit against Meijer and the officer and also the security team that was in the store at the time. It's a 7-count complaint. He says it's wrongful detention, brutal use of force, and an unlawful arrest, among many other problems. And what they're saying is that Bivens' girlfriend had just gone to use the restroom when they went to see him. She had the receipt. Then she got angry and wanted to bring back her stuff because they were bothering Bivens, and that's how this thing escalated further and further. And then you heard that horrifying crack in the face by that baton swung by the police officer.
Yeah. Okay, Rod, keep us posted on what happens after this. We appreciate it.